Hello everybody, my name is Shalissa Savar and this is my project for midterm. The two documentaries I watched were Slay the Dragon and Slay the Dragon Reload. I really enjoyed watching both of the documentaries. They brought a lot of realization of what's going on and has been going on, and it really relates to what's going on right now with the Asian hate crime. I feel like these documentaries need to be shared to everybody in order for everybody to be more knowledgeable, not only knowledgeable, but realize that this has been a constant problem with the Asian hate crime. And within the Asian community, everybody needs to help out and share as much as possible in order just during these dark times to lift up one another and support each other in the best possible way. And going back to the documentaries I watched, which was the Slay the Dragon and the Reload, I'm gonna talk about Slay the Dragon first. And what I realized the main topic for the Slay the Dragon was about Asian people and Asian women, most likely, and how they are seen and portrayed on Hollywood movies or shows. And one of the scenes that really brought my attention was one of the soldiers was talking about war, and he specifically said that Asian people are the enemy. He made it clear that they are the enemy, and that once they do see Asian people, that they are allowed to kill them because they're filled with filth, lies, and death on their hands. And then it went on to Asian women that are seen as slaves, hookers, and fuck buddies. And it really captures the wrong features of women, especially Asian women, and their character and personality. And that's what it's been going on for quite a while. And for example, when I was watching the documentary, it said that men think that fucking an Asian woman meant that they see Asian women as exotic and freaks, and they kind of see Asian women as that they are always gonna be pleasuring their men, so they do it for their man, and it's just a fantasy to hook up with them. So that's a lot of what I've seen in the documentary, was a lot of white men especially wanting to get with Asian women because they're seen as exotic and stuff like that, and they're seen as freaks. For example, I know a lot of anime shows and movies that they show a lot of anime girls having big boobs and big ass and all those features, being sexy and stuff like that, and a lot of them being freaks. And I've seen a lot of stickers and a lot of shirts, t-shirts, sweaters with anime women's and Asian women having big tits and just being freaks by having a choker and being choked or licking a lollipop and stuff like that. And I just think that's very wrong, because as an Asian community, I don't think they want to be seen or portrayed as that. And moving on to the next topic is women are seen as always being in the kitchen. I think that has to do with all women, not just Asian women. Men seem to think that they're always gonna get food on their plate by a woman, and men could never make food for their wives, which literally doesn't make any sense. I know in my household family, my mom always says to give my dad this when we're at the dinner table. She always tells us to make sure he gets his plate and make sure he gets water cup. And it does piss me off sometimes, because I'm why can't he go get it? Why does it always have to be the women's in the kitchen? Or sometimes my mom does say men should never wash dishes, which literally pisses me off, because I feel like men should wash dishes. And it's just it's not fair. And then women are seen as Asian women are seen as soft, feminine, and sexy. And like how I said, they know how to pleasure their man. I'm not sure why, um, but in the video I saw that they're very gentle with their skin. Like they know a lot of skincare and they're very feminine. They like wear robes and stuff like that. All the Asian culture, like stuff that they wear. And also, some of them see Asian women as being passive and not getting any respect. Since they're seen as hookers and less of a person or less valued, a lot of people don't respect them. And that does relate to what's going on right now with the Asian hate crimes, with the elderly people. A lot of people think just because they're Asian, and with the whole COVID thing happening right now, they think that they're the reason why COVID happened, because they want to be racist and be like, you guys brought it over and this is why we're going to disrespect you, which is not okay in any way. And then a lot of stereotypical that I've seen in the documentary was Asian people not knowing English, and movies showing that if Asian people do speak English, that it is impressive, and that they seem to like tell them like, oh wow, like you're so good at English, like how did you learn and stuff like that, which is very rude because like there is a part in the documentary where there's this little girl in school and she was speaking English, and the teacher asked her like, you're very good at speaking English, like did you get a tutor or something? And it kind of brought back to the main character saying like, I'm originally from here. She's like, and she was saying like that we immigrants, that as her parents, speaking on behalf of her parents, came over here, and that she was being racist. And it's true, because a lot of people assume just because you're Asian you can't know English, kind of the same way how my parents are seen as Mexicans and they think that my parents don't know English. They did come over here as immigrants, but they learned over time to learn English while they were here. And it was very hard for them, not gonna lie. And then one of the main like focuses of Asian women were is her name Annie Wong. She was the first Asian woman actor to be played as movies, and she played in the movie Thief of Banks. She played as a slave. Yeah, she played as a slave, and she at the time Chinese were based as bad people and wanting power in the 1930s. So once in 1949, communist takeover China changed the whole media on how they view Asian people, and they portray them to look as bad. And you can see, I saw in the films how they did portray them as bad, and they made them look like the enemy, even like worse at this time. Yeah, so Japan was under recovery from World War II at this time, and they were seen as the enemy, and they eventually were put in a camp, in the evacuation camp in 1980, in the 1980s they banned Chinese in the Korean countries. And then in World War II, films were played a lot by Asian people. Finally, back then it used to be white people playing Asian roles and characters, which is really wrong because it didn't bring out the real, like, not authentic, but real true colors of an Asian actor. And then so right now I'm gonna talk about Slay the Dragon Reload, since this was a two-part. This mostly talked about like Asian men and history of Asian people being shown on movies and shows over time. And so Dim Sum was one of the movies that really changed over time, because this movie really showed about Asian women and their character and personality. And based on that, society did not like this movie or show, because it was based it was based on the real like characters and personality, like I said, on Asian women, and it didn't add any stereotypes at all. And people didn't like that about it. They're like, where are the real stereotypes, like Asians being like they can't see, or like them just being really dumb and stuff like that, or like smart. And later it was changed with the conflict with a mom and daughter, like mom being really strict and Asian daughter being really smart at math and science. And it did bring some stereotypes, and it's really wrong that they did bring back those stereotypes, because we're trying to get away from that, and it's just Hollywood that brings stuff like that. And during this documentary also, a lot of Asian men were seen as weak, and that Asian women are most likely to go for white men than Asian men, because in the movies they're seen as weak, and it's just I'm not sure why they're seen as weak, but Asian men were seen as that, and it's just really messed up. And that's mostly, they didn't really talk about Asian men, but they just talked about mostly Asian women. So Reload and Slaying the Dragon were mostly about women and how they're seen as portrayed on Hollywood movies. And at the end of the Reload documentary, I really appreciated it, because it showed a lot of documents of at the end, like YouTubers, artists, and stuff like that. They really spoke upon how Asian actors are how it showed how they felt while they were filming, and how sometimes they were racist towards them. But then it brought out a good thing at the end by showing Asian women creating shows, YouTube videos about actual Asian people and how they live their day and what they do and what cultures they have. And as I was saying in the beginning, it's really important that we do show those type of videos and share them, because it does show the true authentic cultures, and it just shows like how they really are, and it doesn't add any stereotypes. It's just the true being of themselves. And right now we do need to see that, because there's a lot of Asian hate crime, like I said like 5 times, and it's just very important for the community to see that, because Asian people should not be getting any hate at all, especially during this dark time right now. Nobody should be getting killed or being like hated on. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening, and